welcome to your week ahead tarot forecast reading. I'm going to talk through the energies of the week ahead by pulling some tarot cards and offer you a few questions to reflect and journal on throughout the upcoming week. This reading will be for the week of May 2nd through May 8th. All right, so let's see what our cards are for the week ahead. I'm going to pull one card for each day of the week and see what comes up. All right, so the first card for our Monday is the Page of Pentacles reversed. So on this card, we see a figure holding a pentacle up kind of in the air. They're looking at it very intently. There's a lot of bright yellows and boldness to this card. It's like the sunlight is hitting this person and helping them to get some kind of illumination. Pages often have to do with what we're learning and the ways that we're growing. And pentacles can have to do with material things or the things in our life that we value. So seeing this reversed is making me think that we're kind of done with that learning stage when it comes to this area of our life. So after the page comes the Knight, and the Knights are cards of action. So maybe there's something that you've been taking time to learn, to develop your skills at, and you're not feeling like you're quite ready to bring it to action, but really you are. I think this is kind of a call to not hold yourself back from whatever that is, to recognize that you're past the learning stage and maybe to push yourself a little bit into taking that Knight action, get on the horse and get moving toward what it is that you want to do with the things that you've learned. So not getting stuck too much in that learning mindset and moving into action early this week. So on Monday, just reflect on what it is that you've maybe learned enough to get started on, and ask yourself, what do I need to get moving on? And maybe what's holding me back from putting the things that I've learned into action. And then the next card that we have is the Eight of Wands. And with this card, there's just a lot of movement. All we see on the card are 8 wands going all in the same direction. And down below them in this bright blue sky, there's a little river, which also makes me think of the water's fluid movements. There's some bright green hills in the background. And with this card, with all of the movement in one direction, this fits really nicely with the Page of Pentacles. So to kind of get up and take action on what you've learned and flow with the momentum through your week. Kind of get into a nice groove, and rather than kind of fighting against the things that are going on in your life, kind of try to flow with them. So we can be in different perspectives on this card. We might be the one launching the wands off towards our target, towards our goal. We might be soaring through the air with the other wands and just feeling the wind in our hair as we make forward movement towards where we're headed. Or we might feel that all the wands are flying at us and we're standing on the ground as they're coming in our direction. So think about, on Tuesday, how do you feel? Which of those perspectives is how you want to move forward with this energy? I don't think any of us would want all the wands to come flying at us. So how can you redirect that in a productive way, in a positive way? So after we've learned something with the Page of Pentacles and are ready to move on, the energy is really in motion on Tuesday. So maybe asking yourself, what direction do I need to take? Or how can I best work with the fast moving energy that's available to me? So if you're feeling kind of stuck, that might be a good indication that it's time to get up and get moving and get flowing. And I love that all these wands they're all parallel to each other. So they all have sort of the same direction, the same momentum. And just thinking about what it is that what your direction is and where you're headed for the rest of your week. So maybe making some plans and looking at the big picture of your week, what you want to accomplish by the end. Those can be some good tasks to take on early in the week. And then next up we have the King of Swords. So now we have a figure that's seated. So we were in movement and now we're sitting down. And on this card, there's a king that's seated on the throne. We have this beautiful blue sky in the background. The birds are flying. It's very solid and stable. He's on the ground and his eyes are focused straight ahead as he holds this sword upright. And swords are often our thoughts or ideas, and the kings are really stable. They're good leaders. They're secure. They have the knowledge and the experience of having gone through the cycle of the different suits and maybe worked their way up to where they are now. And with this mature energy, what are you going to use that for? What can you use the clarity of mind, and how can you tap into those ideas that are ready to take the lead in your life? So maybe asking yourself how you can be a greater leader of your week, of your life. In what way are you being asked to show up in a leadership position? And this could be at work. This could be just in your personal life. We have the wands from Tuesday are all going toward this King of Swords. So the direction that you're being asked to go in is away from the student energy of the Page of Pentacles and toward this leadership energy of the King of Swords. So as you're at your Wednesday, think about how comfortable you are with feelings of leadership and how you can tap into your mature and knowledgeable self. And then with Thursday, we have the Two of Cups. And on this card, there are two figures that are exchanging cups. Their eyes are focused on each other. And in the background, we have some rolling hills and some houses. Makes me think of the partnerships that we form with other people that help us to build something better together. And that exchange of feelings and thoughts and emotions that come through really well-aligned partnerships. So having this come after the King of Swords is a good reminder that you're not alone in this journey, and in your week, who are the people who you partner with who are going to help you to get to the direction that the Eight of Wands were heading in, because we don't have to do these kinds of things alone. So maybe this Two of Cups represents you and a friend, or you and a partner, or you and a mentor. But somehow you're being asked to have that conversation and to pair up with somebody towards a greater purpose. And I'm just thinking about the king is sitting alone on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we're reminded that we're not alone. And then on Friday we have the other side of this with the Queen of Cups. And this figure, she's staring at both. She's staring to the left, so she's looking back at all the things that have happened so far. Looking back at the Two of Cups, looking back at the King of Swords. And she's holding this really ornate cup in her hands and looking at it. She's on the land, but her throne is very close to the water. Her foot is practically touching the water. So being grounded, but also securely in touch with your emotions. The cups have a lot to do with feelings, and the water around her throne is kind of swirling around. But while there are all these swirling emotions around her, she's still staying dry and staying steady. And Queens can have to do with nurturing, so either nurturing yourself and being that steady support and foundation for someone, or nurturing your inner self that might need a little bit of love and attention as the work week is wrapping up. And she's also looking back on that partnership and looking back at the king. So seeing the Two of Cups just in between the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups feels like the glue that is kind of partnering these two elements of ourself. With the King of Swords, we have the logic and the stability, and with the Queen of Cups, we have the emotion and the intuition. And these two have to be in conversation with each other, or we can end up too one-sided, thinking about things logically, but forgetting our feelings, or getting too swept up in our emotions and forgetting our logic. So I like the way these are kind of glued together with the Two of Cups. Like this is a conversation between the king and the queen. So on your Friday, you might ask yourself, in what ways can I nurture my feelings and listen in to my intuition without getting swept away by the feelings of others? And then on Saturday, we have the Eight of Swords. And on this card, we see a figure who is bound, and there are swords behind her. Her feet are in the water. She has one foot kind of rested on the ground and another in a puddle. And there's space between the swords, but her eyes are blindfolded. So she may feel trapped and not realize that there's an easy way out. She's not surrounded by swords. They're just on one side. And if, someone was throwing swords at her, well, none of them hit her. She's still safe and she's okay. So as we, might have these, the swords have to do with ideas and thoughts. So sometimes we can feel trapped in our own thoughts and trapped in our anxieties. But these things that are binding her are very loose, and she would be able to wiggle free if she realized that she could, and then she could easily step away from the swords and get away from the situation. So just remembering that whatever your thoughts tell you is true is not necessarily, and in whatever ways you feel trapped, there's always a way of escape. And with this card coming up on Saturday, a question you might ask yourself is, in what way are my thoughts trapping me? And what solution to this problem am I not seeing? So what will help me to realize the truth a little bit easier? And then with our final card on Sunday, we have the Five of Wands reversed. And the Five of Wands is a card that shows a lot of people in conflict together. So they're all holding wands. They're kind of whacking each other over the head with them. You can't really tell if this is a game that they're playing or if this is a really bad argument, but there's some strife here. They're not working together. And this contrasts really well with the Eight of Wands. So earlier in the week, when everything is traveling in one direction and we kind of know where we're headed, with this Five of Wands, all of the wands are going in different directions. Nobody is working together in this card, and there's nothing that can be created through this. It's just discord. And seeing this reversed can mean a few different things. It could be kind of asking you to get things back into alignment with the people in your life. It could also be a call to not get involved in whatever conflicts are coming up, that maybe this isn't something that you need to step into and try and fix. You can let it go and step away and focus on what you need to get done. But also seeing this come right after the Eight of Wands, or the Eight of Swords. With the Eight of Swords, it doesn't seem like there's a way out, and you're kind of trapped by these thoughts. And with the Five of Wands, there's just too much fire going in too many different directions. And that can be a feeling of entrapment too, when you're not really sure where you want to take a creative project or how you want to approach an idea, when everything just feels kind of scattered. So finding a way next Sunday to get all those wands traveling in the same direction again, like with the Eight of Wands, and straighten out some of the internal conflicts that might be coming around. And just because this is reversed, remembering to stay out of those external conflicts that we don't really need to be a part of. So looking back over the cards for this week, when we start out, we begin our week with the Page of Pentacles reversed. This reminder that you've learned the lessons that you need to learn, and you're ready to move on and take some action and put that learning to work. With the Eight of Wands, you have a direction that you're being guided to follow. And now it's up to you to decide how you want to follow through with that and how you want to use that forward-moving energy. The King of Swords is helping you to get in touch with your logic and your mature decision making as you approach the rest of the week. And with the Two of Cups, we have the opportunity to partner with someone and consider the benefits that we get from working with another person instead of trying to do things all on our own. With the Queen of Cups, we're reminded to nurture those relationships and to nurture ourselves, to not be too concerned or not be so concerned with the logic of the King of Swords that we forget to tap into our intuition and our feelings. And then with the Eight of Swords, we're reminded that even when things seem difficult and our thoughts surround us and it feels like there isn't a way out of a challenging situation, there's always a way to break free from that, and things are not as difficult as we may make them out to be if we kind of take off the blindfold and allow ourselves to see things more clearly. And then our final card, the Five of Wands reversed, is kind of asking us to reflect on where these areas of conflict may be and how we may be scattering our energy in too many different directions. Asking us to get back in alignment with our goals from earlier in the week and to figure out what direction we really need to be taking and maybe stay out of those conflicts that are not sending us in the direction that we want to go. So thank you so much for joining me for this tarot forecast. This was your reading for the week ahead for May 2nd through 8th, and I will see you back here next time on Tarot Forecast. So have a great night, everyone.